Hi, welcome back to Tao of Twang. So this is our wrap up for this three-part series using this backing track and playing over this A to D progression. And just in the last week, we've had the first two videos, and we've kind of really scaffolded ourselves up from kind of, just playing the comping the chords and the rhythm, and then putting in some transition licks, between the leading from one chord to the other. The first two videos really do a lot of note for note, teaching of ideas for that kind of routine. And each one of these videos has a version of this practice loop that's several minutes long. This one will as well. And this one, like the one in the second video that we did, will also have the rhythm guitar omitted, right? Or any other guitar, right? So you're the only guitar player now when you're playing with this backing track, and just kind of get up to speed. If you haven't seen those other videos, check this out. And if you're really liking it and want to get into it, you can go back and watch the other ones as well. So first we're just kind of comping that A. And D. And some transition stuff, mostly major pentatonic. Okay. Now today, this is not, a note for note thing, but it's just kind of the chunks of how you can put these few ideas together and really start coming up with a pretty cool, arrangement. So I want to, make this one, too kind of cluttered with all these concepts, because we spent a lot of time on those first two videos really mapping some of that out. The thing that I did differently today that I really emphasized in that demo at the beginning of this one was some Mixolydian stuff. So that's the kind of the last thing we're going to add, and then I'll show you just kind of a practice routine to sort of implement these things. So major pentatonic for each chord, okay? And you can just kind of warm up on that. The stuff I just did had a lot of it, but I'll really simplify it. That's the D. Okay, kind of slid around there a little bit, didn't I? But that idea, right? You could do try to map out a couple of octaves for each one of those. Now, this Mixolydian, all we're going to do as far as the theory of defining that is just take a major scale, starting with each one of those roots, A for the A, D for the D, and play like a do re mi scale, but flat the seventh. It sounds like this. Okay, you get that dominant seventh sound, right? Then up here, Okay, then just do a little warm up on that. There's that A. Okay, so I started to mix it up there a little bit for you, right? I did some A Mixolydian down here. I did some D Mixolydian down here too. That's another area for the D, okay? Now, that was pretty pedestrian, right? I was just kind of wandering. It was real scaly. But, that's okay to warm up like that. Get that stuff under your fingers, both with the pentatonics and the diatonic ideas, whatever is being used. Then, take a little break, take a couple deep breaths, and then kind of get into that more mindful space. Like, okay, well, now I'm going to, remind myself to, lay back, comp the chords, put some phrasings in, and make it a little more conversational, but using those same groups of note sequences. Something like this. Okay, there's some really things that real simple moves that emphasize that. You walk that, each one of those from the root. That's just something you can really work in there. And you can do that at the end of phrasings. Watch this. I'll do like some pentatonic stuff, but then I'll kind of step it down to that flat 7 on each chord. And it sounds really cool. Now that little slidey thing, we covered that note for note in part of it in the first video and part of it in the second one. In the second one, we mapped that whole thing out. That's a real dominant 7th sounding lick going from the D back to the A. So I don't want to, like I said, clutter it up and throw too much stuff at you here. Some of this really depends on kind of information that's in those other videos. But if you can just kind of track what's going on there, the routine is just, comping the chords, staying loose, stay kind of in the background or with the rhythm section, and then, pop in and out with, some major pentatonic stuff using each one of those roots, and then look for that flat 7 sound. You're already playing the third, the major third, for both of these chords when you use the major pentatonic like this. That's the D. Okay, so that's part of that major pentatonic. Now, look for your flat seventh in there too, though. You can bend up to it. Okay, and that little Chuck Berry stuff, we covered that in one of those previous lessons too. Okay, there's a bunch of different ideas there, but you know, do your own thing. Go back and watch those other ones. If you, I keep saying that. Usually, I don't, do so much kind of self promotion on these videos. I feel like it's kind of a distraction to keep, asking everybody to subscribe, and I don't really do that. But I am emphasizing this time that this cluster of videos is a real kind of stepped up program. If you go through that and you spend time with each one of these, especially in order, you'll be up and running with a lot of this what you just saw. So let me know how it goes. Take it easy. See you next time.